always the light-skinned girls.
You MVP. Keep Claressa Shields' name out your motherfucking mouth. Oil. Y'all suck.
Nurse, she's out again. Dang. Yes. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to your live boxing ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to your live.
We just here, y'all. The ride is what, 20 minutes? No, ma'am. And 20 minutes we'll get there.
Let's get it started.
Yeah. Let me sit on. Let me get that ring belt.
So, I really feel like Claressa Shields scripts a lot of her content, right? Because she just randomly say, let me get that ring belt. Pay attention.
I want to say something.
And then now she conveniently says, I want to say something. So she does that a lot. Like, I remember she was like, hey Siri, play Drake, ran to Atlanta. You know what I mean? I feel like she rehearses. I feel like she's so not really confident in, like, not boxing, but having charisma that she be rehearsing it. But listen to what she says.
About this, right? A ring belt is when number 1 and number 2 fight.
See how she already got an attitude? It's when number 1 and number 2 fight.
At a weight class, and whoever wins, that's who gets to be the ring champion. I have a problem. For one, I have not got a ring belt for my heavyweight division yet. From Ring Magazine, that's one thing.
I feel like she's always complaining. Lose the BT Award. She like, I thought accolades matter. Pretty much how the Angel Reese beat me type of attitude. BET Awards the very next year, she loses again to Asia Wilson. The social media handler post a picture or video of her and Papoose walking down, and it said, when you drag your man to the fight. She later revealed that she had a problem with BET putting that caption, and it was weak, and it was lame, and I didn't have to drag Papoose anywhere. I've already made videos about it. BET literally went back, edited the post, and changed the caption because she said her team reached out, probably her, but her team reached out and complained about an Instagram caption that really wasn't even offensive, right? Miss Shanika asked one question that was tough, and she loses her mind. Posts about it, does interviews about it, posting on social media. I handled it like a professional, but that was corny. Such a lame question. How does she have beef with every entity? People are going to stop inviting you places, right? She is ghetto gremlin, beef with the BET Awards, beef with Young Jock's radio station. Why did you ask me that? That was corny, right? Can't even order some hamburger sliders. She like, $24 for some sliders? That's $8 a piece. This better be Wagyu meat. It better be aged cheese. Like, just eat the sliders. You talk all this stuff about $8 million quote and I'm making so much and I make millions on social media, millions to model and makeup. Okay, then pay your $24 for your sliders then, right? You complain about everything. And that's not even including people, right? Like Amanda Serrano and Jake Paul, and how come you guys said the GOAT? That's my term. Literally, all you did was take a known word from LL Cool J, GOAT, and then you put a W in it to represent women. That's not really that creative. GOAT from LL, that was creative. Greatest of all time. You literally just added a W. And then you're saying, this is my word, it's my word. No one else can mention it. Nobody else is promoting their fighters as the GOAT. They may have said it, but that's not like a known reoccurring theme.
And then for two, I just seen a fight where Delcy Robinson fought against Tam Thibeault, and I don't have an issue with neither one of them. But
always a but.
When the two-time undisputed middleweight champion comes back down to the middleweight division, I'm considered 2 by default. So how do they get the fight for the ring belt?
Her team is terrible to me because you notice she's doing all this complaining, all this. She's a Karen, a real life black Karen. She be talking about Alicia Baumgartner's the police and stuff. She complained more than Alicia, right? She be like, oh, she called the police. She should. You assaulted her, right? But she's the one that really complained more than anybody. True Karen behavior, like I've been saying. She thinks she's cooking and making a great point. I'm going to break it down right after this. She's like, her argument is, I was in this division, left, moved to heavyweight for several years, for the last 3 years or so. And now, because there's no fights for me, I have to travel back down in weight after gaining weight and going to heavyweight. Now that I'm coming back to 160 middleweight to fight Kay Scott, they should have made me number 2. And she's questioning why the fight that just happened last week with Tam Thibeault and Delcy Robinson, how did they fight for the Ring Magazine belt? This is her complaint. You aren't fighting until this week with Kay Scott. They already fought for the belt because it was vacated by you, I believe, and it was vacant. Just like you fought for 11 vacant titles. It's not a hard concept, but I will break it down. Make sure you stick around to learn to the end of this video and smash the like button.
Time undisputed middleweight champion comes back down to the middleweight division. I'm considered 2 by default. So how do they get the fight for the ring belt? That makes no sense.
It does, and I'll explain it if you follow this video through.
Makes no sense. And I'm going to ask him about that because when you fight for the ring belt, that means number 1 and number 2 fought, and that's who won. Usually it's for undisputed. It's not for a unified championship. And that's not a knock to Tam. Congratulations to you. Or a knock to Delcy. But it's like, that don't make sense. That doesn't make sense. What is that beeping? I hear that ringing?
Yeah, what is it?
What's that?
She have ADHD? She just randomly stopped.
You know what that ringing is?
No, ma'am.
Do you hear it?
Yeah, I hear it.
I feel like she kind of rude. I mean, I know it's fight week and fighters be a little bit cranky, but she like snappy, crabby and snappy.
Is somebody connected to the thing and it's not using it?
Is somebody connected to the thing and they not using it? What? Not even a clear speaker, man.
But intercom.
So can we turn it down? Like, why isn't it just turn it down?
No, you can hear it. You still can hear it.
Oh, that was because of the air.
Oh, that was going on?
Yeah.
Interesting.
You want to see it? Talk it up. Yeah, we just don't want to be close. They wrong. No, they do the cuts. No.
Interesting. Anyway, I think Claressa got a bad attitude. I feel like she, behind the scenes, she probably yelling at the people. There's a clip of her pretty much body shaming her security guard. Like, I thought you were going to lose weight just from this fight week, right? She was like, oh, your stomach looked big. I thought you were going to lose weight. It don't look like you lost weight. She's in the elevator saying all this stuff. It's amazing that people, they even support this type of behavior from Claressa Shields. Body shaming people. Like, literally, you're just now losing weight to drop down weight classes for your fight. You admitted you were 30 pounds heavy, right? So you're talking to your bouncer, your security guard like that. You know what I mean? Oh, I thought you were going to lose weight. Like, you feeling good, or you know that you slimmed down per your fight because it's fight week and you've been putting work in the gym, and then now you feel like you're above people. That's what it feels like. But I will break down her argument. Before I do, I want to make sure we're all on the same page. So she's hating on two girls that have already completed their fight. One is undefeated, which we'll get into, Thibeault, right? And she's basically saying, now that I'm back at middleweight, 160 pounds, I should have been eligible for the Ring Magazine belt. So how come Ring Magazine let these two other girls fight for the belt? They fought, it was a sanctioned, assigned fight before you came down to middleweight. Your fight's not till next week, right? So the world doesn't revolve around you. You had been fighting at heavyweight for 3 years. So they're going to make middleweight news and middleweight divisional decisions accordingly. They had people ranked 1 and 2 and 3, right? They had a top 10. You didn't fit in the picture because you weren't fighting at middleweight. You hadn't fought in the middleweight since, I believe, 2023, so like 3 years ago. You chose to move up to heavyweight. She's out here complaining like, I got to talk to him. This don't make sense. What don't make sense? You can make all the faces you want. It makes plenty of sense. You're complaining for nothing, right? You can't leave. That's like me being in line at Disneyland and then I leave and go back to my car and then want to jump back in line. And then the people are like, nah, we've been waiting all day. You got to go to the back of the line. You can't just leave for an hour and then come back and then you got your spot held in line. You guys get my analogy? You moved to 175 heavyweight. They got super middleweight, 168, and then they got 160. You moved all the way up here. And just now, because you don't really have options, so you're fighting K. Scott at 160. So you feel like, oh, the queen back, I should be eligible. And now you're hating on Thibeault, who just won. She's already unified, but now she has the Ring Magazine belt too. And now you hating. But then you calling Bumgarner the police like she's 12, but you're the one snitching. You're like, hey, it was done is done. Fight her for the belt. You said it's going to be easy. We'll get into that in a second, right? That's all you have to do. If you want the ring belt, beat K. Scott. Try to see if Jake Paul and Nikisa and MVP, even though they banned you, see if they're willing to do business with you and try to fight the girl. See if a fight can get made. That's how you get the ring belt. You out here on camera hating, talking about, oh, it don't make sense. And then she's trying to like dry snitch. That's what I call it. She said, normally, you get the Ring Magazine for undisputed, meaning all 4 belts, right? And then the ring will be added or whatever. She was like, she's only unified. So how she get the belt? So you keep saying this is what she does is really passive aggressive, right? Claressa Shields will be like, oh, I like Tammy. Oh, no offense to her. I'm not mad at her. But, and then it's always filled with like conditions. It's always conditional, right? Oh, I like Tammy Thibeault, but how is this? And then you hating on her and dry snitching. I like Tammy. She's cool, but I'll whoop her. I'll whoop her ass. I'll destroy her. You see what I'm saying? Like, she can never just give unfettered praise and compliments to most women, especially light-skinned women or black women, right? It always is like, I mean, they're good, but they're not better than me. Like, it's always that type of competitive, like, weird energy. The Ring magazine, again, they're their own organization. They made a ruling. They put their belt. They determined this is the number 1 and number 2 middleweight per our rankings. So they had their belt. It's their belt. It's not your belt. You got to talk to Claressa like a little kid, right? It's their belt. They could really do, per the rules, they could do whatever they want. They have a committee. They can vote and do whatever they want. It's their belt. That's why the fighters got to pay for the belt and pay sanctioning fees, because it's really the belt. It's like the Oscar Awards. You can't control the Oscar Awards. You can't control if you get nominated. You can't control if you win. It's their award show, their rules. They could do whatever they want. You could be like, oh, I thought I should have got the Academy Award. Oh, I did better than Jack Nicholson. Oh, I did better than Harrison Ford. Who cares what you think? They have their process. They pick so-and-so, and you got to live with the results. You just got to 160, and now you're trying to shot call, and you haven't even completed a fight there. We don't even know. I think you will beat K. Scott based on paper. You know what I mean? But you haven't even won, and you're out here complaining about girls that already got it in, had a great fight, and you watched it because you pointed out she had a bloody nose, and then now it's already too late. She has the belts. She has the Ring magazine belt. And you out here like, hey, this not making sense. How's that make sense? I'm the GOAT. I'm coming back down. You know what I mean? Such a bad look, man. It's like you can't be happy for nobody else. You got to try to steal the scene, and this is why you're making all these goofy faces. Now, before I get started in the deep dive, I want you guys to see what's wrong with this clip from Claressa Shields. Play the clip.
Girl fight! Saturday, meet me at State Farm Arena. I told y'all I was selling the bitch out. Didn't I tell you all that? Big lot of walking your girl out. I'm fighting this weekend. Get the rest of the tickets on Ticketmaster and come and rock out with your girl, because it's about to be a what?
Did you catch it? Claressa Shields has been screaming, for anybody who would listen, that her fight is sold out, gonna sell out, selling so many. But if you listen again, if you don't believe me, rewind it. Claressa Shields is like, tickets still available. Get your tickets. I thought it was sold out. I thought it's nearing a sellout. How can you get your tickets if it's nearing a sellout or sold out, right? And you're putting the link in all your posts. So this is what I'm talking about with the inconsistencies. Now pay attention. This is the interesting part. From the top, this is Thibeault, and she signed to Jake Paul and Nikisa's MVP. Now, she's only been a pro since 2024, right? So keep these dates in mind. As of right now, 5 bouts. She's 5-0, undefeated, with 3 knockouts. Get it? MVP, Thibeault, out of Canada, southpaw, tall for the division, 5 foot 10 inches for women's boxing. Southpaw, which gives orthodox fighters issue. 29 years old, from Canada, 60% knockout ratio. At middleweight, IBF and WBO world champion. So in only a few fights, she is champion. Got it? Now, amateur-wise, this is her record, which is a good record. You know, some people, she's never been stopped. She's 57-15, right? So plenty of amateur fights, 74 total. This is the problem with Claressa Shields, right? Claressa Shields said, I don't have a problem with Thibeault, right? But then she's questioning, hey, how is she fighting her last fight for the Ring Magazine belt? Let me explain this to you. Now, what Claressa said about Ring belt is true. Ring Magazine, they have their own ranking system, and they typically put the champion versus the number 1 or number 2 seed to establish the ultimate Ring Magazine champion, right? Or they'll take the number 1 person and the number 2 people, and they fight each other, and that's it. So she's listed as a champion now because the belt was vacant, right? She just fought on a Jake Paul MVP card against Delcy Robinson, right? And this is where you guys got to pay attention. They just fought, literally, August 8th of this year. And they were fighting for the IBF and the WBO and the vacant Ring Magazine belt, right? What's interesting about the opponent, Delcy Robinson, is one, she has a record of 12-4, but she actually fought Kay Scott and beat her right here, 20-24, right? So Claressa is fighting this weekend against Kay Scott. Delcy already beat her, even though they did do a rematch, and you have her, she lost. She actually won a majority decision right there. And then it looks like she lost the second one, right? So they did fight more than once. And now you see Kay Scott is fighting Claressa Shields this weekend. So already it's off to a rough start for Claressa Shields because she's basically like, hey, this doesn't make sense. How did Delcy Robinson and Thibeault fight for the Ring Magazine belt, which I'll go back to this graphic, because they were the belt was vacant, right? And the number 1 and number 2 ranked people fought first week of August, which I just showed you, and Thibeault won. Now she's the champion, right? So Claressa, she was like, when she was like, give me that Ring Magazine belt, right? She's questioning as if the Ring Magazine did something wrong. She's like, hey, I'm coming back down to middleweight. I'm supposed to be up for it. How on earth are they fighting for the belt? Well, guess what? Their fight was August 8th, 2026. That's how they fought for the belt. Even though you're coming back to the division, you're not fighting till August 15th at middleweight. So to me, it shows the cockiness and arrogance of Claressa Shields. She thinks she was just at heavyweight, right? Claressa just fought at heavyweight. So she believes, even though her fight was already after a scheduled fight for the Ring Magazine belt with Delcy Robinson and Tam, right? She thinks I'm the GOAT, and because I decided to leave heavyweight and come back down to middleweight to fight Kay Scott, that automatically everything should stop for me, right? And Thibeault and Delcy, who had their fight before the Kay Scott Claressa fight, they shouldn't be eligible for the Ring Magazine belt. So she really could have answered her own question. The reason why is because they already had a scheduled fight. They had a scheduled fight. They were the top 2 people per the Ring Magazine rules. You were at heavyweight, right? And they fought each other. The belt was vacant because you had moved up. So why would the division have to suffer and wait for you to decide what you want to do when they already had a scheduled fight? It doesn't make sense at all. So hopefully I cleared that up for you. Thibeault and Delcy, highest rated people at middleweight at the time that had currently fought. Claressa hadn't fought at middleweight in multiple years. She had been fighting at heavyweight. That's why you weren't up for consideration, right? Franchon Cruz DAZN fight, heavyweight, 174, right? 174. So you haven't fought at 160 since 2023 against Maricela Cornejo, who you're sparring with to prepare for K. Scott. So since seeing how you haven't fought at middleweight of 160 pounds since 2023, that's 3 years ago. Why would the game wait for you? And then whatever you do, they're just supposed to just wait and decide, oh, Claressa's coming back, so let's not make this scheduled fight for the Ring Magazine belt. It's not how it works at all. So to me, Claressa's kind of a Karen. You see these situations more and more. She continues to complain. She's nominated for a BET award, doesn't get it, complains, oh, Angel Reese, I just thought accolades matter. The very next year, doesn't win. Asia Wilson, very deserving, MVP, won a championship. She wins. Papoose starts complaining, and it really looked like she wrote it. And either way, they're a couple, so I'm going to blame both of them, right? So every time you lose a BET award, you complain. You lose an ESPY, and then pretty much you're salty about it, right? And the only reason why you didn't probably vocalize it is because you're cool with Terrence Bud Crawford, who won the ESPY. So all you put was, damn. What type of response, if you're friends with Terrence Crawford, you were both nominated for Best Fighter of the Year for an ESPN ESPY, and he's truly your friend, right? What type of response is that? Damn, when they win. Not congratulations or let's go, bud. You did it. You got me. Just, man, like, you know what I mean? It just looks bad. Now, I got to get back on Claressa's shoes and Tammy Thibeault, right? Because I told you this storyline goes deep. Right here, this is a boxing reporter. He goes by the name of Sean Zattel, right? I know him. And Tam Thibeault won her fight that I just told you for the vacant ring belt. Stays champion, stays undefeated. We just went over that. Boxing reporter Sean said Tam Thibeault would be the best opponent and biggest threat to Claressa Shields that she has had since Savannah Marshall, but possibly ever. Even though Tam only has 5 fights in, she's very sharp, she's a southpaw, and she carries power. That is a great matchup at 160, right? And me as a boxing journalist, I don't see anything wrong with this statement. You're supposed to want to see good fights. You're supposed to want to see the best matchups, right? And it was worded perfectly. He didn't violate. He didn't cuss her out. He didn't even give a fight prediction. He didn't say, oh, Claressa Shields is getting whooped or she'll lose. He just said the best, most compelling fight probably since Savannah Marshall, right? Claressa respond, she would not be a threat to me. Don't let my real experience go over your head. Tam is a good fighter, but she is green compared to me. You know you done messed up. I want you guys to pay attention. But she is green compared to me. And I'm not even mad that you're saying she's green because you do have a lot of experience. But hold that thought. She's green compared to me. If y'all want her to have a 1 on her record, I'll gladly do it. Salute. Couple things wrong here, right? Notice Claressa's energy never really matches the conversation. Sean was very respectable, gave his opinion, said it's a good fight. And she coming in like, oh, yeah, I'll beat her. You want her 1? Da-da-da-da. She's green compared to me, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So she's just very defensive, right? Very defensive. She said, I did not see this fight going 10 rounds, but congrats, Tam Thibeault, unified middleweight world champion. So I don't really believe her when she's congratulating a lot of these women. If you know her history, you know her pedigree, you know she'd be hating on women, right? Just like after that tweet, she was in the car for her fight week in the Sprinter or whatever, and she was like, hand me that Ring magazine belt. And she was like, yeah, Tam's cool. I like her. But how you guys going to have them fight for the Ring magazine belt? So it's very passive aggressive. In one breath, you're congratulating her. This is what you did to pretty much Angel Reese and Bud Crawford, right? On Twitter, you're like, congratulations. And then you're also saying, I did not see this fight going 10 rounds. To me, that's a slight too. I feel you put that, because why do you need to say it went 10 rounds? Deal with it. Why did you need to say that? I think she's saying it like you were supposed to get this girl out of here. I thought you were going to stop her, but you didn't, right? Keep in mind, Claressa only has 3 knockouts in 18 fights. So I think you're trying to almost like humanize Tam because she's expected to be a big puncher. And you're like making sure that's the first thing you said. Man, I didn't see this going the distance, right? So I think she's really a hater. She says, I hope it's clear that I don't care about what nobody think or how they feel. Yeah, that's very clear and is hurting your career, but good job. Now, you would think that would be the end of it. She congratulated Tam. The boxer reporter Sean said it would be a great threat and a great fight. This is another boxer and now commentator, Raul Marquez. Shout out to him, right? Literally all he said was facts. So he agrees with Sean that Tam Thibeault would be a good fight. Literally, you're seeing on the screen, all he said was facts. So he's not giving a fight prediction, not insulting either woman, not picking a winner, literally saying he agrees it would be a good matchup. Look what Claressa put, man. Y'all need to reevaluate y'all boxing IQ, Raul. You see how she does? Bro, how are you guys openly supporting this type of temper tantrum type of behavior? Literally, the man said facts, didn't violate, didn't disrespect you, and he's a boxing commentator and a boxer, and you're telling him he needs to reevaluate his boxing IQ. So basically, his boxing smarts are questionable to you because they believe that it's a good fight. Not that you'll lose, not that you're trash, but that it's a good fight. That's how she responds, bro. Raul Marquez said, Claressa, I have so much respect for you. I never said she was going to beat you, which is exactly what I said. I was impressed by her performance against a battle-tested champion in Delcy Robinson. Actually, she surprised me. I just think that's a matchup boxing fans would want to see, and you can get paid. You feel me? So again, you see 2 different people in boxing, pretty much with kid gloves, saying a basic comment. Look at Claressa. This I know. But to say someone who has 5 fights, listen to this girl. This I know, but to say that someone who has 5 fights is a threat to me is very inaccurate. I saw her fight and I'm proud of her. Yeah, you do some good job of showing it. But she is really green. Again, back with this green stuff. So I gotta get her. In a few years, she could possibly be a threat. Depends, but she has a ways to go before she can even think about beating me in a fight. Why is she like this? Right? Nobody violated her. Nobody violated you. All they said was, that's like, you got to be real. There's not many women boxers that can even rival you, given the fact that it's not men's boxing, and the women's boxing talent pool in certain divisions simply isn't that deep. So it's slim pickings. We got to find, as boxing fans, we have to find the opponent that at least could maybe go some rounds, maybe challenge you. That's it, right? But she keeps saying, oh, she green and you need to check your ring IQ and all this and your boxing IQ. What? Raul said, I understand, But if that fight makes dollars, then it makes sense. Seems like the boxing world is talking about it. Skills pay the bills. Again, very professional, very respectful. Here comes y'all quote. Y'all must hate the girl. LOL. We fight tomorrow. She getting destroyed. What is wrong with this girl, man? Like, honestly. What is wrong with her? Like, you can't even have a basic discourse without her being butthurt and offended. Like, everybody's out to get her. Like, what is going on, right? If we fight tomorrow, she getting destroyed. Y'all must hate the girl. Like, this goes to show me that she's delayed or her brain hasn't fully developed or something because, in my opinion, because why does it have to be all that, right? Why can't people just want to see a good fight? Why you're talking about y'all must hate her. The sport of boxing is not about hate versus love. Like, I want Muhammad Ali to beat George Foreman, so I hate George Foreman. It's like such a rudimentary, juvenile way to look at it, right? If you were rooting for Floyd Mayweather to beat Pacquiao, it's because you hate Pacquiao. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? But now, let me work. Now, if you made it this far in the video, consider smashing the like button. Hype the video up, bell icon. Shout out to all the people who've sent cash apps and donations and PayPals and super thanks to help develop the channel so we stay a high efficient and well-oiled machine. Now, this is where I really get off, because if you notice throughout the video, I'm giving you technical boxing stuff. I'm a boxing channel. There's going to be a lot of copycats and a lot of people who take the information and now they use the talking points and stuff like that. Just remember and pay homage where you got it from. Claressa Shields said, you think a woman, let me read it exactly. You think to say that someone who has 5 fights is a threat to me is very inaccurate. How is someone's opinion inaccurate, right? They think she's a threat, but the quote is like in one breath congratulating her, right? But then also throwing shade, talking about she'll destroy her and how dare you say she's a threat to me. So thin-skinned. So I want to talk about that. You're saying she's no match for you. How could she be a match? She's 5-0, right? So let's get it. Claressa Shields in 2025, last year, literally fought Danielle Perkins at heavyweight, right? Who had the same exact record. 5 wins, 0 losses. Huh? How's that work? How's that work? So you're insulted that somebody would even dare consider Thibeault with only 5 fights a worthy opponent that could challenge you. So what does that say about Danielle Perkins? So let's take it a step further. This is her record now because she's since fought. But when she fought Claressa, she was 5-0, right? Even now, she still don't have that much fights. 6-1 with 3 knockouts, right? In less fights, Thibeault has 3 knockouts, right? But the big difference, if you know your boxing, is Danielle Perkins has a total of 7 pro fights, right? She's 6 foot and a southpaw. Thibeault is 5'10", pretty tall, and a southpaw. But Perkins is 43. Thibeault is 29. So that's definitely closer in age to Claressa Shields, right? Both southpaw, both pretty tall, both taller than Claressa, right? So southpaw is a match and wash, both of them being tall. But here's where the levels are shown. One, the fight would be at middleweight, which means Claressa would have to lose weight, which would be more of a sacrifice. Heavyweight, Claressa Shields already told you the women at heavyweight are clunky and slow. And she's way faster than. So she would have to cut weight and fight somebody who looks very good and skilled, right? But between the other 5-0 person that Claressa recently fought, here's the difference. 7 pro fights, only 5 when Claressa fought her. But look at her amateur background. This girl had 12 fights total. So that means you didn't really have an amateur career. And why does it say she's 12-0, but she got 13 bouts? That's suspect. How do you have 12 fights, no losses or draws, but you got 13 bouts? But whatever. Either way, she don't have many fights as an amateur. Going back to Thibeault, she does have an amateur career. Again, 74 fights, 57 and 15. And some people who think the amateur losses, double digit, that's normal because you're wearing headgear in a lot of scenarios, depending on what years. And that's a good record. That's a good record. Point blank, period. So Thibeault actually had more fights by a lot, 74 bouts versus Perkins, 12 or 13, right? 4 knockouts versus Thibeault has 7. You know what I mean? So it's like, how is Claressa really out here talking about how dare you fight me with only 5 fights and consider her a threat? Like, it's such an insult. But you've been fighting people with records like this, right? Like 5-0 Daniel Perkins, right? Lonnie Daniels had 11-2-2 record. Franchon Cruz, you already beat her 3 times between the amateurs and pros. 10-2 record. And now, over the weekend, you're fighting Kay Scott. Kay Scott. She only has 7 fights. And in 7 fights, she's already lost and had a draw, again, to a girl that Thibeault just beat, right? So you're making it seem like you've been fighting the Sugar Shane Mosley, Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd Mayweather, Terrence Crawford, Manny Pacquiao's of the world in your division. And how dare we insult you with something like that, like a Thibeault. You must want her destroyed, is what she said. But you can fight a girl with 7 fights literally this weekend, and she has 0% knockout ratio. She's not a southpaw, and she's the same height as Thibeault, right? 5'10". But the big difference is she's 42 years old versus 29, right? And this girl's a southpaw, which gives people problems because of the Claressa's an orthodox fighter. So while she's up here trying to throw shade, it looks bad to me because you're making it sound like the boxing reporters and journalists saying that would be a good fight, like they're way out of line. And how dare them even mention her with your greatness with her only 5 fights, but you fighting people with 10 fights, 6 fights, 7 fights, 5 fights. And you could fight a 5-1-1 Kay Scott at 42, but Chris Cyborg says she got 2 million. She got 6 fights in boxing, let alone years worth of MMA experience, 5 knockouts. So all of her fights have ended in knockout except for 1. And she's 40. She just turned 41. So she's at least a little bit younger, right? And she's trained by David Benavidez's dad, right? So these all would have been better fights. Chris Cyborg, Hannah Gabriels, Michaela Mayer, right? Even Thibeault. Claressa's out here talking about, man, if someone has 5 fights, that's very inaccurate. But then you're fighting people with very similar records that aren't even a threat and older, that have less power. Literally, Kay Scott has 0 knockouts, right? She does have an amateur pedigree right here, right? But she's been knocked out in the amateurs, and she has 1 knockout in 73 fights. So 73 plus 7 as a pro, in 80 fights, she's knocked out 1 person and been knocked out once. She has a knockout percentage in the amateurs of 2.1, 2% like milk, right? Versus Thibeault, younger, fresher, southpaw, same height, better knockout ratio, just looked good over the weekend against Delcy Robinson, who again beat K. Scott. Man, it's looking bad for Claressa Shields. It's almost to the point where it's looking like you're actively trying to avoid the conversations of the bigger and better fights. And again, this video here, this is just to point out the inconsistencies and discrepancies that I see, right? It's not a fight prediction. I don't give fight predictions for fights that are not signed. But the audacity for one to be like, how dare you mention Thibeault in fighting me, and she only got 5 fights, and you're literally fighting people with 7 fights. Legit. She only has 5 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, and she's older. So how can you make the time and find it in your heart to have this fight at middleweight, but then Thibeault has more belts than her? She has a WBC belt, right? Thibeault has a ring belt, IBF belt, and a WBO belt. And you're talking about a few years from now, maybe she'll be ready. So it's like, it's looking weird to me, man. Like everything Claressa's doing for a while, this whole papoose business, it's looking weird. It's almost like she don't even want to box. I'm going to be real with you. You can make the time to fight Danielle Perkins, right? And then not only does she make the time to fight Danielle Perkins, she's bigged her up after they fought. She's like, man, Danielle Perkins, she was good. Oh, yeah, she's dangerous. And that's how you know when somebody's hating. She's going out of her way to make Perkins, with no amateur background, with not that many fights, only 5 fights, just like Thibeault when you fought her, with no resume prior to you fighting her, right? You're trying to make it like she out here and she's the one, like she Roberto Duran. You're talking her up. You notice she keeps doing that. The people she beat, she befriends. Like Maricela Cornejo, she's in her camp right now because Claressa beat her, right? She talks good about Perkins because Claressa beat her. Lonnie Daniels went on to beat Shadesha Green, and she's talking good about her because Claressa beat her. But all the future threats, like the Chris Cyborg, Thibeault, even Bumgardner, even though there's a weight discrepancy, people she hasn't faced, she got a whole lot to say. And again, she did that video that I showed at the beginning, and she's questioning how Thibeault has the Ring magazine, essentially. How does she have the Ring magazine belt? Easy. She was a top-rated person. Delcy Robinson, who beat K. Scott, was a top-rated person, and they fought for the Ring magazine belt before your fight. That's how they fought for the Ring magazine belt. So I noticed real passive-aggressive business from Claressa Shields. She'll take females and compliment them, but then also diss them. Like, Thibeault, congratulations. But then you hating on her in the next breath, talking about you'll destroy her, right? You're saying, hey, how dare you mention her with me and she's not ready and stuff like that. This girl comes across as extremely insecure. And the thing that's absolutely bonkers and weird about it for me is the fact that you would think if you the GOAT and you so good and you will destroy all these people, you would think that you would be lining them up for the easy work and you would be like, dang, I don't want no other fight but this girl. Like remember when Floyd Mayweather fought Canelo Alvarez and he was 23 and Floyd was more experienced? That's what you do. You do what Floyd did. Say, let me cook this boy and show you how it's done. And then you beat the young Canelo Alvarez and set him back a bit. She seemed like she's doing more internet smoke and, bad-mouthing the girl as opposed to being sounding giddy to fight her, right? The other thing is Thibeault is an MVP fighter. She literally did that rant and said, MVP fighters got to stay mentioning me for clout. I'm the algorithm. Stop mentioning me. Stop mentioning me. But you're going out of your way to respond to reporters who didn't even tag you, I don't believe. And all they said was Tam would be the best possible fight since Savannah Marshall possibly ever. And you had to interject yourself. I just went over it. You had to interject yourself into the conversation. And then when Raul Marquez jumped in and said, I agree, good fight, you're like, oh, you need to evaluate your ring IQ and all this type of stuff. Why does it have to be any of this? You should be chomping at the bit to fight someone if you're going to cook them and they're inexperienced, right? You're really out here fighting people with resumes that are definitely no better, skill set and power and stuff and attributes really no better, especially at heavyweight. And then you're making it like it's a pipe dream that people want to see you fight Tam Thibeault with MVP. You're saying you're the algorithm, but you're the one that's always in interviews bringing up Layla Ali, always in interviews bringing up Alicia Baumgartner. And now you're bringing up Tam Thibeault. Like, man, y'all are crazy. Y'all just want to keep bringing up a new threat and destroy. Fight her. You don't got to say nothing. You don't got to tweet a bunch of stuff. I'm telling you, Claressa's actions are like really insufferable at this point, right? Tam's a good fighter, but she green compared to me. She keeps saying the same thing. People in the comment section are like, LOL, you supposed to say that, but I guarantee you beat her now before she gets the experience. She's going to get, the more she gets, more of a threat, basically. I'm being fair. I'm literally telling y'all right now, she ain't a threat. You agreeing and disagreeing because you a GWOAT hater. What is wrong with her, man? Someone said, let's make the fight happen. You just don't like the girl. And this is all pretty much on her fight week. You're fighting someone else and you're jumping all in the reporters' mentions and all that. You got bags under your eye right here. You know what I mean? You're jumping all in the mix. You already have a fight. You're doing all this, like, complete your fight and then start seeking out these people. Now, I can't leave out my girl, Hannah Gabriels, right? Hannah Gabriels dropped you when y'all fought. You guys are supposed to rematch. It didn't happen. You try to stain her name, right? Why not fight her? 22, 2-1, 13 knockouts, been knocked out once, right? She dropped you. Like, there's still fights like Michaela Mayer. You talking about Lauren Price. Everybody, for me, every fight that I named, I would rather see than Lauren Price and Kay Scott. So that's what I'm saying. It looks like, to me, cherry picking. You got so much to say about Tam not ready. Okay, fine. Fight one of these other people like Michaela Mayer, rematch Hannah Gabriels. It's like, who do you want to fight? The moment a fighter feels there's no competition and no direction, you might as well retire, right? Nobody could beat you and nothing else to accomplish, nothing. Then why are you even fighting? But for me, it looks like almost to the point where you just want to continue the perks of being the GWOAT and saying it rather than demonstrating it for real. Like, you literally have a half clown show card with Zeus baddies or whatever else is going on, right? And you're like, oh man, these girls can't beat me. Oh man, I'm getting greater and but you're not even challenging yourself with the people that the fans. Sean Zettel said Tam Thibeault, right? So consider it. And then the other part that's bad is I don't even know if the fight can or will happen because she got banned from MVP. And as I told you, Tam is an MVP fighter. So one way or another, your career, you've been cooking your career. It's just you all over the place. Some of the stuff is contradiction, not making sense. Even if we get past all that, will they even work with you? You're assaulting their fighters and they put you on an indefinite ban until otherwise noted. So I don't know. I don't know what happens there. I don't know if Jake Paul and them even want to do business with you to put their fighter in. But the bottom line is how defensive she gets all the time. You get like, imagine being like this 24/7. You got to defend your relationship all the time on the internet, on podcasts. You got to go in people's DMs and defend why you with him. You got to defend Papooses' hairline. You got to defend why you chose him and lie and say he's not married and he's your hubby. Always defense, right? Then people say, hey, it's a good fight. My thing is this: why are you so emotional? Why are you so emotional? You should be elated, over the moon, that people want you to fight someone that is no threat, that is inexperienced, and there's money to be made. Isn't that better for you? Like, let's be real. Isn't it better? And that's funny, Layla Ali's pin is right there by you, and you hate on her. But wouldn't that be better for you? The easiest possible job, according to you, that you can destroy, and you know you'll do good in the job, right? And the interest is there, and people would pay millions of dollars to make it happen and platform it. Wouldn't that be to your advantage? Yeah, I get millions of dollars to take out the trash and beat somebody who I know cannot beat me, no way, no how. So I don't even understand why. And again, another light-skinned female that I think she's indirectly hating on, right? That's my personal opinion. Look, she got light eyes, light skin, a little bit younger, tall, right? Remember, she was always the light skins. It's always the light skin. And Jake Paul and MVP doing a way better job promoting her and all their fighters than yours. There's literally no buzz for your upcoming fight. And again, who do you want to fight? You're saying unreasonable things. You'll destroy her, but you're calling out 50 Cent on the Big Ticket podcast. He said, name 3 people, ideal people you want to fight. You said 50 Cent. You said Layla Ali. She said she's not breaking bread with you. She don't want to work with you, not coming out of retirement for you. So right then and there, the 2 people you selected don't really make sense. Then you said Alicia Baumgartner, 130-pounder. So you want to fight a 130-pounder, a male rapper who's closing all these business deals and TV studios and up for 2 Emmys in 50, or a retired 48-year-old Layla Ali. But then the moment somebody says fight Tam, you're like, oh, I'll destroy her. Oh, man, oh, she too green. Oh, she not ready. But then you can fight people that we believe are worse than her, or people like Franchon Cruz, who's a great fighter, but you already you beat her at age 16, right? Every time y'all fought 4 or 5 times, I believe 5, right? And you beat her every time. So give us something new. You don't have to complain. You don't have to murmur. You don't have to be angry about it. Just give us something. Again, this is why I don't trust or believe Claressa Shields, because she'll like give you a compliment. Oh man, Tam, she a good fighter. I like Tam. But then everything else you're saying about her don't really support that. If you like her, consider giving her the opportunity if the business can be done. That's it. You don't have to plead your case to Twitter. You don't have to respond to everybody. You don't have to insult them. Oh man, your ring IQ is not up to par. You need to question yourself. You stupid. You don't have to do all that. See if you can do the business, make the fight after you get past your Saturday fight, and keep it pushing.